We often talk about dimming our light, but it's one thing to conceptualize it, it's another to actually feel it in your body, right? When you are shrinking yourself, you're doing this because the truth feels too uncomfortable. It feels too intense. It feels too big. There's this level that you're aware of. There's this level where you say, yeah, I'm dimming my light, but I'm aware of it. But there's also a part of you that you're probably not aware of that you're dimming. And it's happening because we haven't reached that level yet in our own personal growth, like really alignment and like the evolution of who we are. But there's always more to you. And if you feel like right now you're consciously shrinking yourself, I promise you there's even more of you that you're shrinking. So think about all the ways that you're showing up in your closest relationships, maybe, where you're not telling people how great you actually are in certain things, how much you know in certain areas, like what you believe about yourself and like what kind of energy you can represent. And we're doing this because if we would do that, we're automatically showing people what they're not tapping into yet. And that hurts our soul. It makes us uncomfortable because we're thinking it's our responsibility not to hurt this person. But what we're actually doing is we're not willing to risk that person walking away if they cannot stand in that truth. And I will tell you, some of my closest friends cannot stand in that truth. And that does not mean that they don't love me. That doesn't mean that I don't love them. But there was a point in time when I started showing up as myself and I saw how my relationships changed. And you can still connect with people. That's not the problem. But then you're going to connect from a space of this is who I really am. So you're actually becoming another person and the other person also becomes somebody different to you. Because there's a different connection now. You can't connect on the same things if the only reason why you're able to connect on those things is because you are hiding who you really were. So today we're talking about 5 times INFJs dim their light and are not even aware of it. Remember, before we get started, if you haven't done this so far and you're interested in my work and you want to learn more about this, then either get the INFJ Mastery poster. I also have some other free posters. All my programs are available to you and you'll find all the information that you need through the links in the description. Number 1, you soften your inside so people don't pull away. We're doing this because we want to protect others. We want to protect ourselves. We want to keep that connection alive. But when you live out an insight that you have that other people cannot face or cannot stand in, they will distance themselves to you. We all know that. And this is what we're so afraid of, isn't it? That if we really show up the way we are, nobody's going to want to be in contact with us. But thankfully, we have this channel here. Thankfully, we have this community. So I'm telling you, when you take that step, and it's always a step-by-step process, you're not going to stand alone. We're here completely accepting you the way you are. And through that, you can build up yourself to such a point that it's okay. If people cannot stand your truth and there's a distance to you, that's a price worth paying because there's nothing as valuable as living out your truth. You know, you can have all the money in the world, all the success, all the fame, whatever it is. If you're not truthful to you, you've lost. But also, it doesn't mean that you staying small is being truthful to you either. And it's that truth that we have to face. We have to face that we want to help others, we want to protect them. But if you have to make a choice of, am I going to be an example of what it means to accept yourself, or I'm going to keep the connection, you always choose standing in your truth. And if that means that people have to walk away or distance themselves from you, then you release them with love, because that's just where they're at right now. It's okay, they have their free will. There's also a question of how much truth can they handle. But by you not showing up the way you are, but you dimming your light, you're also robbing other people from the opportunity to see what it means to choose yourself. Because so often we have interactions with people that are close to us and we see so much in them. We see such beauty in them and like intellect or whatever it is, potential to be so much. And they don't dare to really stand in that truth. And when we're there and we're connecting with them and we're making ourselves smaller so they can shine in front of us, what we're saying is, I don't believe you can stand in your own truth. And this is because I'm not willing to stand in my truth. Like if I want you to feel comfortable with who you are, it's not going to help to be a crutch to that person forever. You actually have to let them find out who you are. You have to give them the opportunity. Otherwise, they will not know. When you see potential in other people, then know that you have that potential in you. They have it, but you do too. If they actually tap into that potential is another thing. That is their free will, and everybody has the right to choose that. Not everybody has the strength to stand in their potential. Hopefully, in our current society, people dare to be themselves more and more. But if you want to help make this process a reality, then it's on you to showing up the way you are, even if that means that people can't really see you anymore, because then they would have to confront themselves with the fact that they're not being true to themselves. And so there might be a psychological distance with that person, that you don't connect with them on such an intimate level how you used to before. But that doesn't mean that it's not loving. It's just that you say, this is who I am, and no matter how much I love you, I have to choose me first, because through that, I'm actually showing you what it means to choose yourself. And then when and if people are ready to see that, they can actually accept themselves and tap into their own potential. And that might be in 3 months, that might be in 30 years. But you're not going to pretend you're somebody that you're not. We all want belonging. But the price for belonging is that you have to show up the way you are. Otherwise, you're just fitting in. Sign number 2, you laugh things off that actually matter to you. So often when we have something that is important to us, but we don't think that this is something that is worth having a fight over, we actually don't say anything. And I'm all for that. Like, you don't have to tell people who you are all the time, like, please. But if there's somebody in your life who has a wrong image of you, something that just bothers you, then it's not about explaining to them, listen, why are you not protecting my boundary? Like, please do this, show up, whatever it may be. No, laughing it off is so often a defense mechanism, right? That this is not right. I can tell you a quick anecdote actually about this. When I was still working, so this is probably, I don't know, not 10 years ago, but let's say 7. So I was in consulting and I was walking around with these young consultants. So there were a couple of guys, they were younger than me a couple of years, and there were also younger female consultants. And then these guys were making remarks about women or whatever, like, just disrespectful things. Like, you can talk about this when you're by yourself and make jokes, but when you're in front of women, you just don't say these things. Like, this is just a sign of disrespect. And none of these young women were able to kind of like tell him, what are you doing? Because it would make them look like they cared, right? And as I said, I had compassion for that. Like, I'm not expecting other people to be able to stand in that truth. But for me, looking at this from the outside, it was obvious. Like, no woman likes that. This is a sign of disrespect. They just don't want to show that they care, because if you show that you care, you make yourself vulnerable to their judgment. But what I did was, like, I told them, don't ever dare to talk like this in front of other women again. And I said it like, a little bit more enthusiastic than I said it now. Like, it had an impact. And as INFJs, we can have that impact. Like, I really let them know the truth, that this is weak behavior, and like, be a better man in that moment. And there might have been first like some kind of reaction of, like, what? And like, maybe they would have judged me, but I don't care. Like, I don't care. Like, I stand in that truth no matter what you think of me. And when you show up with that energy, people change. Like, I have changed people so much just by standing in my truth. This is the most powerful thing we can do. And they're not going to admit it right away, but months along, years along, it doesn't matter. At some point, they're either going to accept that or they're not. But you are not going to budge. You're not going to pretend that this is not something that is wrong. And I had another colleague, and I've told you this story before, not that everybody of you has seen all my videos, but I've told this story before. So when I first started at the last job I had, there was a not young consultant. We were both in our end 20s, I think, or maybe 30, something like this. But anyways, we were like the same age. And he started talking to me like, you're going to do this, this, and this. Like, I'm some little helper person who like wants to impress him. And like, it was ridiculous. And I said to him, listen, I'm gonna let this one slide because you don't know me. But don't ever think you can talk to me this way. This person became one of the people I got closest with in the company. That doesn't mean that we became friends, that we hung out after work or anything like this, but there was a level of respect that was shown. And that happened because he actually turned himself around. Because the reason why he's talking to me this way is because he allows other people to talk to him this way. And when you tell him, like, I'm not going to put myself above you, but you don't talk to me like I'm anything less, that person actually embraces that for themselves. And maybe they can't show up like this right away, but it will have an effect on them. Maybe not right away, but it will happen. But that can't happen if you left certain things off because you're afraid of the judgment that you're going to get. Right? And so there are some situations where you can say the truth, like it's too big. But there are situations where you feel like I'm laughing something off and right now I could actually say it. When you're in that situation and you catch yourself, just do the opposite. Just stand in your truth. Be the tough guy. Be the bad guy. Let them think you're a bully. Let them think you're crazy. Whatever it is, like let them think what they want. I'll stand in my truth. And it's always the person who stands in their truth the longest that wins at the end. Always. Because when you know your truth, nothing can harm you. Like everybody can hate you. Everybody, can say whatever they want. If you know that you're honest with yourself and this is who I am, and I will love myself first and foremost, and I will accept myself because nobody's going to save you. Nobody's going to choose you. You have to choose yourself. You, by being that, will have so much ripple effects on people. And again, they don't have to admit it to you. They don't have to say it right away. Maybe they are not even aware of it, but it will happen. And if they have a different truth, then that's totally possible. Like it can be that I say, I don't like this. Like I stand in this, I don't like this. And this is of course totally possible. And other people say, but this is super important to me. Well, okay, then we're both going to stand in our truth and hopefully accept each other with the truth. But I'm not going to pretend I'm somebody that I'm not. And I'm not going to pretend I'm less than you just so we stay connected. If you have to live your truth, that's totally fine. If you want to continue living the illusion that you have, that you're something better because you've achieved something, because I don't know whatever it may be. If you need that illusion, then you're going to distance yourself from me. And I'll tell you, I had the situation with partners at my company who have backed off from me, from giving me tasks, who've backed off from working with me, who've backed off, but in a way of they have let me alone. They have not tried to push me down or anything like this because I just stood in my truth. I was like, I'm not good at this. I'm good at this. Like, that's what I do. You like it? If you don't, like, fire me. Like, what do you want me to do? I'm not going to pretend like I'm somebody else. This is what I do. And this is who I am. And that person actually came back into my life a couple of years later once they saw that I had the channel and I had the business, and they actually were curious and wanted to find out what I have done. And he really recognized that I stood my word, that I really went for who I was. Like I didn't pretend I'm somebody that I'm not. Like I knew this is what I have in me. He could stand the truth that I don't need to be liked by him. And this is not something you saw with my other colleagues. Like all my other colleagues, specifically men, and this is not bashing men in any way. It's just that men are more prone to this hierarchy thing. Like this thinking of hierarchy is like necessary, and it is. Like, don't get me wrong. Specifically men who are not INFJs, right? Or like the Sigma type or whatever it is. Like they very often operate best in hierarchies. Like that's how their mind works. And there's no judgment in that. That's just how it works. And so if they see somebody who's achieved more than them, for a lot of people, that's a sign of I need to respect that person more because in society you have the higher role. Maybe that's even an extroverted thinking thing. Like, there's a lot, it's just I don't get it. Like this is something I don't get. But I don't have a problem with it, but this is what it is. I had those two colleagues at the time when I was working, and they were around my age, and they were also working with this partner. And then they were like, how can you talk to him like this? Like he might not like you then. And I was like, well, what about the fact that I might not like him? Like, there's just this thing of when you choose yourself, you don't care if people like you or not, right? But it's more of I have to actually stand in that truth. I have to be willing to really make that happen for me, like not dimming my light. If I dim my light because I know that's going to make the other person uncomfortable or it's going to disrupt something, then of course this is going to like make you feel like you're not living out your potential. Because what was he going to do? Is he going to fire me on the basis that I know who I am and I don't need to impress him on like a one-to-one personal level? I still show respect from the place of this is my boss, and I was talking respectfully with him and I wasn't crossing any boundaries. I just wasn't like bowing down to him. Like, and this is a state of being, right? This is you not dimming your light. Every single time when you feel like you're bowing down to something, it's like, okay, I'm dimming my light a little bit. And a lot of people do this because that's how they function. That's how they survive in the world. And this is something we have to have compassion for, because every single time another person pushes somebody else down, it's because this is what they've been conditioned, that people have pushed them down. And so it's on us to be an example of what it means. Like, no, I accept myself. And if this means that you are going to distance yourself from me, then it's okay. Because the thing is, if that person would actually fire you, they would actually have to admit in front of you that they're afraid of your strength, right? Because they could have said something like, yeah, you're not doing your work right, but we both know what it is. And so if you've already shown this is who I am, then they can't do that anymore. But if they would fire you on the basis of something ridiculous that has nothing to do with the fact, then it's not that they would know that you know it. Maybe they think you have no idea and it's okay, but they would have to admit it to themselves. Then he would have to admit to himself that I personally didn't bow down to him. And that's what he didn't like. Because it's one thing to do something and thinking the other person is not going to get it. It's another thing to admitting it to yourself. And when you're not able to admit it to yourself, you're not going to take any action because the truth of it is just too heavy. So again, this is mastery level. So don't think like you have to do it like in one step, but always lean into it, right? When you have situations, like try it out, like with people and situations that aren't that heavy for you, like just practice it. The more often you do it, the easier it gets. Sign number 3, you hold space for others, but you're not taking it for yourself. So a typical situation like this is you want people to feel seen. So you listen to them. You take time to hear about their problems, to, lift them up, whatever it may be. But guess what? It's exhausting, particularly if it's things that, we don't really care about. Like I have people in my life who, are very close to me that, really like matter to me, and the things that matter to them, like I just don't care about. Like I seriously don't. And it's not just that I don't care about it, it's exhausting to me. So for example, if somebody wants to talk a lot about their specifics and like some detail oriented stuff and so on, and this is their life, then I want them to live that. I want them to like really lean into it and love every single minute that they're doing. And I'm holding space for that. But I cannot hold space for that forever because it just exhausts me. So after a while, I have to say, sorry, this is enough. Like I can't take it. I need that space. I need that time. Like leave it alone. And that does not mean that I personally have the urge to tell them about who I am or what matters to me. I don't. I just don't have it intrinsically in me. But I do want for people to like leave me alone from time to time, like not talk about them and like really require me to put my focus on them. And I have to be the one who says, this is enough. The other person isn't going to get it because they don't have anybody in their life probably who listens to them as much as you do, who sees them as much as you do, right? This is not just about listening. It's about seeing the other person really. And when they see that you see them, then they're going to take it because there's nothing else comparable to that, to really truly being seen. And so you can't expect people to put an end to this just because they think you deserve it. They're not able to do that. It's like a person is drowning right now. Of course, they're going to grab everything they see around them. It's okay. Like you have to be the one who puts an end to this. Always remember, when you have a giver and a taker, it's always the giver that has to stop. You have to stop them holding space because they cannot. In this dynamic, you always have to be the one who shows the boundaries. It just doesn't work any other way. And this is human. This doesn't come from a place of, oh, I'm a better person than them, or I'm not worthy of them making space for me. It's just, that's what they're able to do at that moment. And you have to accept them with the fact that they cannot do better at that time. And you have to be the one who's willing to kind of like make a remark that makes them uncomfortable, but that's a price that has to be paid so you feel okay. Like that's the whole thing, like with, my typical thing. And I know you're probably sick of it with the kid burning its finger, but I'll repeat it again. So you can tell a child thousands of times, if you put your finger on the stove, you'll burn it. And they're not going to listen. They're going to listen once they burn their finger on the stove. And why? Because it's in the nature of the child to see how far can I go. It's in all of us to see like how far can I go? Where is my reach? Like what is my domain of who I am? So this is normal, right? You are able to be more of who you are because you're in front of an INFJ. Of course you're going to take it. This is not a question. But it's on us to say, until here, no further. No matter how much I want you to be happy and I want you to feel seen, you can't take this from me. And through that, you're giving yourself space and you're showing people that's also how you have to demand space for yourself, no matter how that might look like. Number 4, you edit your energy to match the room. So I'll tell you a quick example because I see like those examples do like a lot and I want to do more of that. So when I first got to university and I, started and they had like little groups where they would put people together so you wouldn't get to know somebody, right? And so we started hanging out as a group and, it started becoming like this clique or whatever. And when I was around them, everything felt so boring. Like I couldn't deal with it. It's like, and so what did I do? I just left that group. I couldn't really handle it because this was the only choice I had, I thought. The only way I could really be in that space is if I match my energy to the energy that's going on. And the energy that's going on just bores me to death. Like, sorry, what is exciting going on here? Why are you all pretending like this is fun? Like, what is this? Right? That's what I really felt. But what I could have done, and this is also a matter of practicing because it's not easy in the beginning, I could have changed the energy. I could have not looked into it and said, oh, I'm going to match the energy. You could say, these are 5 people and these 5 people make this energy together. This is what happens when, they're all by themselves. So I can do 3 things. I can really minimize myself, so I match the energy, so nothing happens, so they feel just like I wasn't there. I can remove myself from the situation altogether. Or I can actually add who I am to the mix as much as I possibly can. It doesn't mean that you have to show them all that you are, but I could have made this group fun. I could have been the one who says, let's do this, let's do this. Like, you don't actually know until you try. If you show up the way you are and people don't like it, they will go away. Don't make that choice for them. Allow them to reject you, but don't reject it before you even try it. Like, just try, be yourself, and if then it's still boring because nobody participates, okay, then let's go. But I'm not going to try to match the energy. That's just not something I'm doing anymore. And I used to. I really thought that's the only way forward. I thought I don't have the right to take charge and have a part of creating this energy. But of course you do. And it's needed. So please do that. Number 5, you assume that your power is too much for other people to handle before they even say something, before you really show it. But the point is, your energy and who you are, this is not something that is meant to be tolerated. It's something that is meant to be trusted because you know that this is who I am. And once people know who you are, it's so much easier for them. It's so much better if people honestly know who you are. That's when they trust you. People don't trust you if you make yourself smaller. They trust you when they know you. And even if what they see is something that they don't like, they can trust it because it's honest and people feel that. People feel it subconsciously every single time. It's just that if they don't like it, if they can't handle this, they are just going to pretend like they're not seeing it or they're going to back off. I live in a bubble where so many people don't have any idea that I exist because it's just too uncomfortable to live that authentically. And that's totally fine. That's fine. That's a price worth paying every single time. But you'll see when you show people who you are, and this is of course not something I'm completely showing somebody who I am or I'm not. But there's a level that you feel like you can go a little bit further of showing who you are. The more people are going to be able to trust you because you're not budging. This is not for show. I'm not performing something. This is who I honestly am. And even if that is something that people don't like, they can see it, they can trust it, right? Remember, your energy is not to be tolerated, it is to be trusted. So you don't need to make yourself small so people still accept you. You have to be all that you are so people trust it and they lean on you. They know that you're going to stand in their truth. So you're going to be their pillar that they can move up on, right? Because you're there, you're doing you, you're being yourself, and it's always their choice if they want to rise to the occasion. But if you are dimming your light, again, you're just trying to make yourself fit into their current perception and into what they feel comfortable at this time to have a connection with. Because if they see that you are really capable of a lot of things, it makes people uncomfortable because then they have to face what they're able to do and who they are. And so even if they don't do it consciously, a lot of this stuff is happening on a subconscious level, but they will trust you. That's the thing. When you show up the way you are, they know that you're something that is real. And when it's real, it's something they can see themselves in, right? If they want to look, it's on them, but it's truth. It's the ultimate truth. This is who I am at this moment with what I can see, what I can stand of showing of myself. This is something. I'm not omitting something. I'm not pretending that I don't like certain things. There's just a part of you that I can go a little bit further with. And again, this is not something that now you can do it completely and now you can't do it at all. But there's always one aspect that we can do today. One little point that we can reveal more of and stand in that truth and know that, okay, if somebody judges me for it, I'm still okay. And the good thing about this is you're not even alone with it. We're here. All of us are doing this together. We're stepping into our INFJ epic life. We're choosing ourselves. So you know you're not alone. We are here. We see you, we accept you, and you're doing a great job, right? This is who you're meant to be. So dare to show up more fully of yourself. I'm there to support you. I'm here cheering you on every step of the way. Remember, if you want to go deeper into this process and like really learn how to embody it even more, then check out all my programs and the free posters and so on. And if you want to watch another video now that is in line with today's topic, then check out the video you see on the screen right now. I'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.